Northside Phil here, and welcome to the weekend preview for July 1st, 2012, which is going to be a special week. That's right, it is Spider-Man week. Spider-Man, I love saying it like that, like, a young Peter Spider-Man went out into his neighborhood and vanquished evil. No, it's obviously, this week, on July 3rd, is the release of the new Amazing Spider-Man movie, and for some people they might say, why the hell is there another Spider-Man movie? Didn't they just have a trilogy of Spider-Man movies? And yes, this is a reboot, they're starting over. I guess they finally figured out that they fucked it up so bad in Spider-Man 3, there'd be no way to repair what they did. So yeah, so brand new Spider-Man movie coming out on July 3rd, and to celebrate that, being that there are no real retail releases this week, we've got Spider-Man Week, where we're going to be playing a plethora of Spider-Man games from different times, different eras, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit original with it to try to differentiate myself from something else, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyway, as always in the weekend preview, we're going to take some time to review what we've done in the past week so that you know if you missed anything, what you missed out on, and you can check it out, okay? So, this past week was an interesting week because, first of all, it saw the release of Project 7 Episode 4, okay? Which was a long time coming, took 2 months basically to film, to produce, to get everything set. You know, we've been teasing you about it since April. Finally, it was released last weekend to lots of views, let's put it that way. The episode has only been out for 1 week, and so far it's gotten over 127,000 total views, which is great. It's on par with episodes 1 and 2. Not really on par with episode 3, and the real reason I say that is because over the past week we confirmed, now that we released episode 4, that there was a YouTube bug that actually cheated us out of views on episode 3 on release week when we put that out in April. So really episode 3 should have significantly more views, and it doesn't, and there's nothing we can do about it because YouTube fucked up basically. So you might say, gee, why does episode 3 only have 114,000 views? Episode 4 has only been out a week and it has, you know, way more. That's why, okay? But on par to get the same amount of views as episodes 1 and 2. A lot of people, again, saying it's their favorite episode. A lot of people saying it's good, but it's not as good as episode 3. I think that a lot of people who grew up with the classic games probably liked a lot of the effects and humor that we put in there. If you're really not into that kind of stuff, you might not. But that's going to be the whole running thing with Project 7. Every episode, when we go to a different gaming world, is going to have a little bit of a different flavor. We're going to be exploring different times and eras for these games. Now, for example, in episode 3 we had Contra music, but we had jokes about Metal Gear, we had jokes about Gears of War, we had jokes about all kinds of modern shooters, Call of Duty, etc. Episode 4 was primarily retro games. That's what it was, retro land, so obviously everything had to be retro. But now when we go to episode 5, you're going to see things about classic games, modern games, all kinds of stuff mixed in there. So I think it'll appeal to a wider audience. But yeah, it's out. Thank you to everyone who checked it out and spread the word about it. I'm currently in talks with Machinima to get a 4-episode screening of Project 7, either on Machinima's main channel or on the Machinima Respawn channel, and I'll have more information hopefully this week. If not, I'll definitely keep everyone in the loop on that, okay? On Monday, it was a unique day, a free day. I didn't have much to do, so I played Ninja Gaiden on the NES. I got to the very last boss, which took forever, by the way, because that last stage of the game is insanely hard. Finally get to him, kill the first form, get to the second form. Alright, I'm trying to learn the pattern. Alright, I've got his pattern down, but now I'm going to die. Let me just wait. I'll come back with my next life, and I'll take him on with a full life bar now that I see his pattern. And after I lose my first life to the final boss, the game sends me to the beginning of the fucking chapter again. Because for whatever reason, when they programmed Ninja Gaiden 1, they decided if you lose at all a life to the final boss, you have to replay the final 3 stages of the game, which take like an hour and a half to get through because they're so fucking difficult. So I said, fuck this, and I didn't finish it. Just another person who's been defeated by this game. Many, many people have been defeated. I'm one of them. Maybe one day I'll come back to it like I did with Ninja Gaiden 2 and I'll beat it. But it's just not worth it at this point. I wasn't going to spend another 1.5 to 2 hours to get back to the boss just for another chance to possibly kill him. That's completely bad game programming. It's infuriating, and it's the reason why they don't do that in modern games anymore. It's just fucking mean. On Tuesday, a lot of stuff came out on Tuesday. I chose to do the Mass Effect 3 Extended Cut DLC first, which I played the entire final 2 missions of the game to unlock all of the additional cutscenes. I played through all 4 endings, including the 4th ending, which is a new one, which I actually found a way to do it that I think a lot of people didn't realize. They were all like, oh, shoot the catalyst, shoot the catalyst. Well, guess what? You can actually just talk to the catalyst and get this ending as well. I think I was probably one of the first people to figure out how to do it that way. So all that I recorded ended up being over 3 hours of footage, so I said, alright, that's enough. I did a final thoughts video on Mass Effect as a whole, as the ending of the game, the controversy surrounding the ending, and how they had to do this DLC. Anyway, so that is up. That came out on Tuesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, I played Spec Ops: The Line, which, in my opinion, is a unique game because it has a plot that's very similar to Apocalypse Now. Very, very interesting writing and story. The gameplay is lacking, but the actual story itself is extremely interesting. So I had mixed thoughts on it. I eventually did get to play the multiplayer of the game today, and I reviewed it, gave it a Hateful Truth review, so you can check that out. Also, on Thursday, it was the 25th episode anniversary of Ask the King. That's right, I finally hit episode 25 of Ask the King. It was a special episode where I tripled the episode, basically 3 parts instead of the usual 2, answered more questions, answered more detailed questions, stirred up a lot of controversy with the things I had to say in some cases. So if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend you do. Unfortunately, it looks like because it was a triple episode, that each part only has about 10,000 views. Traditionally, you know, they get around maybe 15 to 20. I understand that. I'm hoping that over the next couple weeks, people have a chance to catch up and watch that, because I put a lot of effort into it. And if you're interested in Ask the King, my thoughts and answers to fan mail questions and things, that's the place to go, okay? On Friday, I'm trying to remember what the hell I did Friday. Holy crap, I'm blanking on what I actually did on Friday. That's pretty bad. Alright, give me 1 second and I'll tell you what I did on Friday. I can't believe I'm blanking. That's pretty bad. Oh, duh! I'm an idiot. On Friday, I played The Walking Dead Episode 2, which was highly anticipated. Lots of people wanted to see it. This was a game that originally was said was going to come out a month ago, then was supposed to come out earlier in the week and got delayed, then finally came out for Steam on Friday. I played it. Massive acclaim from everyone who's seen this playthrough. Again, people are loving this game, so definitely check that out. If you were a fan of Episode 1, you definitely want to watch Episode 2. They're going really well so far, these episodes. I can't wait. There's 5 in total, and I can't wait to see how the series pans out. Very good stuff from Telltale Games. I just wish I knew when the next episode was coming out, because once again, they don't know when. They're not going to be giving a release date. It's kind of annoying to not know when to expect the next one, but it is what it is. And then I did a channel update where I discussed a lot of the stuff that had been going on during the week, the fact that I had done Walking Dead, you know, what my plans were for the rest of the week, etc. Also, I also discussed that actually we've already been re-invited to Too Many Games next year as you know, an invited guest in 2013. Chances are we're going to do it unless some crazy thing happens. You know, as long as things keep going as they're going now, yes, we're probably going to be there back again next year as well. Okay. Saturday was a jam-packed day because on Saturday John Rambo came over. We did the next episode of Smart Guys, which is our wrestling commentary show. We filmed the conclusion of the Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes gameplay, co-op playthrough, which we enjoyed thoroughly. I actually had a chance to finally review the game today, so check out that Hateful Truth as well. It is up and live. And we actually ended a little bit early. We didn't know how long that game was going to be. So now we're going to get into a little bit about how I'm going to answer your questions about how Spider-Man Week is going to work or whatever. Because what happened was, we said, we know Spider-Man's coming out, Amazing Spider-Man is coming out on Tuesday. Let's do some Spider-Man footage. So we actually started a co-op playthrough of Spider-Man Friend or Foe. And we got about halfway through the game so far, and it's pretty fun. It's a little bit generic. Obviously there's only like 4 or 5 enemy types, but it's cool to see all the different Spider-Man characters we're unlocking. And this is obviously, if we're going to do it, this is the week to do it, celebrating the Spider-Man movie that's coming out. So we did that, and we played for about 2.5 hours, and I announced, alright, we're starting Spider-Man Week a little early. Here's Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Then today, I had leftover stuff to do. I wanted to do some Spec Ops Online play, which I did. I did 4 parts of it. I do this all the time. I always put the wrong on fingers. Reviewed Spec Ops, reviewed Lego Batman 2, because I was going to have a busy day today. I had already announced previously that I have some stuff, personal stuff to take care of today. I didn't have a lot of time to do gaming. And then obviously right now I'm filming the weekend preview. So I get comments on all the videos today. Whoa, I thought this was Spider-Man week. Where's the Spider-Man footage? Like, if you would watch my videos, which again, I do this on purpose. Why do you think I put out the channel update on Friday? To tell you that Sunday I didn't have a lot of time to do stuff. So today, no, I wanted to get odds and ends done so I could go full force into this Spider-Man week, okay? So starting on Monday, here's how it's going to go. Spider-Man week begins, and of course, there's one game that's been lingering, a game that's been out, and people, you know, everyone wants to see it, everyone's talking about it. So we're finally going to start on Monday. Of course, we're talking about The Amazing Spider-Man versus the Kingpin for Sega CD. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, this isn't the game everyone's been asking for. It's the Amazing Spider-Man game that came out this past week that I delayed because I didn't want to put it out too early. It actually entirely spoils major plot points of the new movie that comes out on Tuesday. So here's the deal. I'm going to start playing this on Monday. If you don't care about the movie, you can go ahead and watch the playthrough then. If you do care about the movie and you're going to see it on Tuesday, well, guess what? I'm going to play this Monday and Tuesday and hopefully beat it within those 2 days. Then you can check it out on Tuesday night when you get back from the movie. You can actually watch the playthrough. So it's going to be perfectly timed for both groups of people. So I'm going to be playing this game this week. Traditionally, the Spider-Man games end up being some of my highest viewed video game playthroughs ever, including Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which is my highest viewed videos over on my original gaming channel, Dark Side Phil, and here on DSPGaming, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, actually getting 2.5 million views on the first part. So, huge views on Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to play Spider-Man, hearing a lot of good things about this game, and then we're going to go from there. Depending on how long it takes me to complete the Amazing Spider-Man playthrough, I will start other games, such as The Amazing Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin on the Sega CD. We're going to explore the whole gamut of Spider-Man games from start to finish. Now here's the thing. The Angry Video Game Nerd, many years ago, I think it was like 2007 or something like that, so we're talking 5 years ago, he did an episode that was all about classic Spider-Man games. So people have already seen a lot of the gameplay of the games that he talked about because people saw his video. Oh, he played the NES Spider-Man, for example. I don't want to redo what he's done because that's just redoing. People will already know what those games are. I want to explore other Spider-Man games that he didn't explore, okay? So we're going to be trying out Spider-Man for the Sega Genesis. We're going to be trying out Maximum Carnage for the Super NES. Now this one, first of all, it's really cool because it's a red cartridge. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up similar to Final Fight or Streets of Rage. However, I may hold off on this one, and the reason why is because John Rambo actually has the game that was the spin-off of this. It's called Separation Anxiety. What they did is they took Maximum Carnage and they added additional stuff to it to make it two-player co-op, because this game is actually only single-player. That game's two-player co-op and actually makes the game a lot easier. And we're probably going to do that when he comes on Saturday. So I might or might not try this game out this week. We'll have to see. We've actually got Spider-Man on the PlayStation 1. We've got Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro on the PlayStation 1. Now I know, people always say the best Spider-Man game, Phil, was Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. So here's what I want to do. First of all, just to let you know, just because I'm trying out these classic Spider-Man games doesn't mean that I'm going to be spending the entire week beating them. This is kind of like a cool week to explore the history of Spider-Man in video games and understand how he's progressed over the years, how these games have changed. So we're talking classic era, we're talking kind of that middle era when it was almost going over to the more modern consoles. We're talking classic PS1, and then we're going to see how long it takes me to play through all those games. If some of these games are good, I might by all means actually play them to the end. But if they're kind of shitty, if they're really difficult or whatever, or if I have problems, for example, I'm hoping this game is going to work, because I kind of got it to work, but sometimes it locks up. So we're going to see what happens with that, but I may go to my local game exchange and pick up a couple more. I know they have the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 movie games. Every single freaking Play and Trade has those. There's other games like Spider-Man and the X-Men versus Arcade, and other games that have come out of Spider-Man that it wasn't like the Angry Video Game Nerd didn't do them, you know? So those are going to be the games I'm exploring this week. So that's all this week. I'm doing this Spider-Man marathon, okay? The one exception to all that is that the Resident Evil 6 demo actually comes out this week as well. And I received a code to play this demo by buying Dragon's Dogma earlier this year. So I'm going to be playing the Resident Evil 6 demo sometime on Tuesday. I'm not sure when this code's going to go live. That's the thing. For some reason, sometimes these things don't go live right away. So I'm going to see when it's available, and I will be playing the Resident Evil 6 demo on Tuesday at some point. I'm actually hoping, fingers crossed, the demo is actually the gameplay they had at E3, but the gameplay they had at E3 was really long. I played for a full half hour, and that was only 2 out of the 3 scenarios that were available, so I don't know if that's really what this is or not. This may be something completely different I've never played before, so you're going to be seeing that this week as well. And then on Saturday when John comes over, we're going to finish Spider-Man Friend or Foe, okay? We are going to possibly play Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. So, if you're a Spider-Man fan, this week is for you. This is me going fan mode. I used to read the Spider-Man comics like religiously during the 1990s. I remember the Maximum Carnage saga. I bought all the comic books that were in this crossover saga. And back then, by the way, Spider-Man had 4 freaking comic books. He had regular Spider-Man, just Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Web of Spider-Man. And then during all this going on, they launched Ultimate Spider-Man. So there was like 5 freaking oh no, I'm sorry, I take that back. It wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man Unlimited. So there were actually 5 Spider-Man titles going on at once, all with the same universe, the same Spider-Man. That's how popular he was during the 1990s. And so I'm going fan mode, and I'm going to try to bring all that knowledge of these guys and stuff into this week's gameplay. I hope that you enjoy it. And there may be additional games, like I said, that aren't here that I might be playing this week as well. What I want to tell you is, this is really cool, but today I sat down and I finally looked at my resources, the games that I've amassed over the past year. And if you remember last year, July and August, just like this year, very slow times of the year for retail releases for games, let's be honest. In fact, this week there really are none. Next week, all you've really got is The Last Story, which is a JRPG that's going to be hit or miss. I don't know if I'm going to be playing the whole game or not. I might try it for a day or two and see how it does. And if people just aren't interested and aren't watching, I may not keep playing it. I don't know. I have to see. I have to figure out what I want to do with these JRPGs at this point, because I'm interested in them, but I don't want to be working and playing and basically no one cares. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but when you have when you are doing it as part business and part pleasure, you have to try to make sure that what you're doing, at least some people are liking. And when I'm getting less than 300 views a video and it's been 12 hours, 24 hours since the videos came out, that's a red flag, okay? So we may or may not do Last Story next week. There's really there's some co-op games that are coming out. For example, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles have come out, but that's for co-op with John. That's not stuff for me to do during the week. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of this month, there's the Skyrim DLC. But outside of those things I just mentioned to you, there's like no releases in July. In August, there's been maybe 1 release a week, very sparse, except for the middle of August. I think one day Darksiders 2 and Sleeping Dogs comes out. But again, very, very sparse month. It was exactly the same last year, I remember. Besides maybe Catherine and 1 or 2 other games that came out during the summer, there was almost nothing coming out that was a major release that anyone was interested in seeing. And therefore, I did some extra stuff. In fact, if you remember, that's when I did my Mega Man week, my Mega Man marathon that everyone enjoyed, where I played Mega Man 1 through 6 on the NES. So I've amassed many, many games over the past year to try to do some filler content for you during the summer. I know that a lot of you are students, you're off for the summer, this is your prime time to watch videos. You're hoping that, especially starting with, this week, that there's going to be a lot of good content. I'm going to do my best to entertain you with a variety of content, okay? Unlike these other people, oh, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, you know me. I'm going to try to entertain you with a lot of cool stuff. The first thing is thing that I talked about already. There's a very strong possibility I'm doing a Mega Man X week. I actually own Mega Man X 1 through 8 on the original consoles they were released for. I'm planning on playing them and at least playing the first several, installments of them. Starting with the Super NES, moving on to the PlayStation 1. I don't know if I'm going to play all 8, but I have a plan that 1 week I'll probably do like a Mega Man X marathon, okay? Also, I have amassed a collection of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games. And we're talking starting from the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, moving into the next era, Sega CD, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. And I would like to explore that series simply because it was something that I grew up with. It was an oddity for me because when it first came out, I remember watching that first episode on TV, and my jaw was just like, And when the show ended and the credits rolled, I said, what the fuck did I just watch? I can't believe that this exists. It's the weirdest fucking show I've ever seen. But somehow the show caught on. Even me, I got addicted. I started watching it religiously. And somehow it became super popular to the point where they're still making different shows of it. If you can believe it, to this day, they still make it. So I want to explore Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I have a marathon of that planned. As you know, I've also been an avid collector, not only of just Sega CD games, but a certain group, a certain development studio who pioneered full motion video in video games. If you don't know who I'm talking about, yeah, I'm talking about Digital Pictures. These are the guys that made games like Night Trap, I believe it was called Prize Fighter, Supreme Warrior, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, the music video game, Corpse Killer, Slam City. Some of these games I've already explored. But oh, Ground Zero Texas. I own all of these games now. I have like all the Digital Pictures games. I have them. So what I want to do is do like a Digital Pictures marathon week where we explore all the weird and fucked up things that they did with full motion video when the Sega CD launched, and see if there was even a glimmer of hope in any of this stuff, if any of it was any good, if something could have ended up turning out being something that people wanted to play. Some of these games, I'll tell you, Night Trap, you watch that fucking game, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? It's just weird, but funny as hell at the same time. It's like fucking silly shit, and I just want to explore those games. So we have a Digital Pictures marathon that we can do at some point. And then I've got some PlayStation 2 classics that are all being re-released this year in HD. So if you remember, I still have Devil May Cry 2 and 3 I haven't played. I still got Jack 2 and 3 I haven't played. I've got Sly Cooper 2 and 3 thanks to Hazard. He actually sent me a copy of the Sly Cooper collection. I have to pick it up actually this week. I have to go to my P.O. box and remember to pick it up. So I have Sly 2 and 3 that I can play. And coming out, I believe in September, Ratchet and Clank collection comes out, and I pre-ordered it. So I'm looking to play. There's 4 classic PS2 series that I may explore this year coming up in a marathon style. Maybe one week I'll do Sly 1, 2. Another week I'll do Jack 2, 3. You know what I mean? I might do all these, but I don't know. I don't want to say for sure that any of those marathons are going to happen, but those are the things I'm ready to do. And I've even asked the people who designed the backgrounds for my YouTube page to work on these because I think they're really good ideas. I think these are things that people are going to want to see and you're going to really enjoy, and it's going to be great filler content for all this time when there's no real retail releases going out. So this is the beginning with the Spider-Man marathon, but there's going to be other things going on as well coming up, and I just wanted to kind of preview those with you guys because it's the first time I kind of put my finger down and said, okay, this is what I've decided I'm going to do this summer. So I hope that those things are going to entertain you. I'm excited tomorrow to jump finally into Amazing Spider-Man and try it out, to do this Spider-Man marathon all week. I also am very excited for Resident Evil 6 coming out, the demo, and obviously to try out some other things coming up as we have downtime. So I'll have more information on what specific marathons I'll be doing when. It'll all be in July and August. People loved it last year. My views were actually super high last year for these special events, like the Mega Man marathon. So more of that coming this year. This summer, it's going to be the summer of marathons, basically, and it's going to be really cool. So I hope that you all like Spider-Man, because I love Spider-Man. Like I said, I grew up with them. The 90s were huge for me. I read all the comics. This week's going to be great for Spider-Man fans. New movie. And the one last question I want to address before we finish, because I know I'm almost out of time. People are asking me, Phil, are you going to see Amazing Spider-Man? Honestly, the movie doesn't look very good to me. I'll be honest with everyone, because I don't know, CGI lizard and this new Spider-Man kind of, I don't know. I just don't know, man. And they're rebooting it too soon, in my opinion. It's too soon to reboot a movie series like this, but maybe I'll see. Let's put it that way. I'll see if I can squeeze it in, and if I do, I'll be doing a review. Just like I did a couple years back, and I reviewed Inception and Iron Man 2. People are like, oh, Phil, we loved your movie reviews. Are you ever going to do them again? I think if I do get to see the movie this week, I'll probably review it. So I will let everyone know about that as well later this week. Maybe I could sneak into one of those daytime showings when there's like no asshole. Yo, what you doing, man? You're like, oh, I got a text, fucking light up the place. The kids holding their babies, wham. Yeah, let's bring our fucking 1-year-old kid to Spider-Man. You know, because they won't be afraid of a giant anthropomorphic fucking killer lizard, right? That's a good idea. So maybe I'll try to sneak into one of the showings where there's not a lot of people. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But that's it. Spider-Man week this week. I'm excited. Thanks a lot for tuning into the Week in Preview. I'll see you for Spider-Man gameplay this week, starting with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man. Young Peter Spider-Man will be swinging and fighting in the streets of New York City starting tomorrow, so tune in for the Spider-Man Marathon. Thanks a lot. See you for gameplay this week. Peace.